Welcome back to the GD Network. I got a question. Is the ownership in the WNBA failing the WNBA? It seems to me that they have opportunities to take advantage of some things that they just never quite take advantage of. I mean, I understand women's sports, men's sports, but when you tell people that your pay is not going to be equivalent because you don't have the fan support, that I respect. I won't lie. I mean, I think you can't pay someone more when their revenue may be $2 million and the NBA is $200 million. Just simple math doesn't make sense. But that being said, if you're not doing all you can to increase the revenue, then at some point it becomes a problem with the company, not necessarily the talent. Now, my point here is that the women's tournament just turned out numbers that were record numbers that eclipsed those of the men. Now, someone will say, well, sure, but that's just 1 year, or that's just 2 years. And, you know, until you start making that type of money consistently, how do you expect the increase? I agree. But how do you expect it to be consistent when you're not necessarily taking advantage of moments in the sport that would help grow it naturally? The reason I'm bringing this up is because the WNBA season started last night, and though it was preseason, let's be real, they only play 2 preseason games and they get right into the season. So you have to take advantage of opportunities when you have them. You're coming off of the most watched women's NCAA tournament in history, and the WNBA had an opportunity to roll right into their season off of that success. You had Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo, who were part of one of the most epic games this year, most controversial games this year in the SEC championship, where you had hair pulling, elbow throwing, shoving players to the ground, and the intensity that ensued. And yet you didn't even televise the game. I mean, there was no television option whatsoever to see that game. And don't say, well, that's just preseason, what do you expect? On the men's side, they have ESPN access to summer league games with guys that we will never see play in the NBA. So if you want to grow your product, you have to water your product. And I don't think that you're watering your product when you're not even showing it on TV. I'm gonna play a short clip here, and you can hear what even the national media was saying with Teresa Witherspoon, because her game wasn't only not on TV, it wasn't even available on the WNBA League Pass. So I'm gonna play this clip and I'm gonna come back with some commentary and we're gonna get out of here.
We will start with Annie and then go to Steven. Annie, then Steven.
Hey guys, before we get into the game action, I just wanted to bring up that there was a live stream that got close to 200,000 views on Twitter because the game wasn't accessible, obviously, on WNBA League Pass. So I'd love maybe a Spoon if you want to comment on just what that says about why a game needs to be broadcast, even if it's just preseason. And ladies, if you have a comment as well.
There's so many eyes on us right now. It's really good, but what you just told us, the eyes that were upon us, no matter what, that's huge. And yes, we would love for us to go on and for everybody to take a look, especially with this team. You have a great group of young women who are excited to watch play tonight. We had an opportunity to kind of get a feel for where we are and what we need to do. So it's awesome to know that a lot of people really tuned in.
That there was the Chicago Sky head coach, Teresa Witherspoon, after being asked the question. Now, again, common sense tells me if you want to grow your product, you must expose your product. And to not have that game available at all was ridiculous. But then on the flip side, currently the hottest player in women's basketball, who the national media has made the darling of the league, Caitlin Clark, had her first game out in Indiana. Well, with Indiana, they actually played their game out in Dallas. And you had an opportunity to highlight her on a national stage. First WNBA basket scored, this, that, and the other, the narrative she could have put out there. And you didn't even put it on the smallest network. You didn't even have it on ESPN2. ESPNU, ESPN News, Fox. I mean, it was nowhere. If you didn't have the WNBA app, which I have, so I did witness the game, you weren't going to see it. And that doesn't make any sense. So that's my thoughts on it. I mean, I would love to hear your comments down in this comment section, hear your feedback. Let me know what you think, because to me, it just doesn't make any sense. You are at the hottest that this league could possibly be right now, and they're not showcasing it at every opportunity. I don't care if you started showing all access like they do on HBO sometimes, all access. If you showed all access to their practices, I think you would be getting hits right now. So, you know, tell me what you think, because I think they're at a point right now where they can definitely grow this league. Merchandise, ticket sales, exposure, monetary value, but I don't think they're jumping on it. And obviously, from my standpoint, they're definitely not jumping on it, because they lost an opportunity last night on opening night, preseason or not. But this is GD Sports Network. I'm going to sign off right now. Give me some feedback on what you think.